Missing on Superstition Mountain is a great new mystery book at your fall book fair. The Barker brothers have just moved from Chicago to a tiny town in Arizona that is the most boring place on earth. Boring, that is, until they discover Superstition Mountain. Searching for their missing cat, the Barker brothers, along with new neighbor and friend Delilah, explore the mountain and they discover 3 human skulls. When and who were those skulls and how did they die? Well, if you like a great mystery and a lot of adventure and excitement, you will love Missing on Superstition Mountain.
Boys and girls, have you heard your parents complaining about how expensive gasoline is? In the book Crunch, gasoline can't be found at any of the gas stations. Our nation has run out of gas, just hopefully for a short while. Dewey's parents are off in Canada on a trucking vacation. He and his 4 brothers and sisters are left at home to take care of things, including the family's bicycle repair business. Well, now, because no one can get gas to drive to work or to the grocery store, everyone needs a bicycle. They're pulling old ones out of sheds and garages and bringing them to Dewey and his family to fix. Dewey and Vince are working as hard as they can, but suddenly bike parts and even new bikes are being stolen from their shop. What's going on? Will Dewey's parents ever get home? Will the 5 brothers and sisters be able to take care of themselves until gas is available again? A great book about a family sticking together is Crunch at your fall book fair.
Have you ever tried to get out of a reading assignment? Maybe one of your parents gave you a book to read, or it's a book that you have to read for school. I know I have. And so is Charlie Joe Jackson, who's actually the master at getting out of reading. Charlie Joe Jackson has never ever read a full book in his entire life. And you can learn all about how he's done this in Charlie Joe Jackson's Guide on How to Not Read.
Students, Cardinal Lane Book Fairs is delighted and honored to present to you A.J. Hartley, an internationally acclaimed author who has penned the fabulous new fantasy title Darwin, Arkwright, and the Peregrine Pack. At this time, we'll turn it over to Mr. A.J. Hartley.
Hi, my name is A.J. Hartley, and I'm here to talk about my book, Darwin, Arkwright, and the Peregrine Pack. It's a story about a boy who comes from northwest England and moves to Atlanta, Georgia to live with his aunt. He doesn't know anybody. He's sort of a misfit, doesn't fit in. And one day he's at the mall and finds a strange, old-fashioned shop that sells mirrors. He talks to the equally strange and old-fashioned man who runs the shop and leaves the store with one of these mirrors, which he takes home and hangs in his closet. After dark, after sunset, he discovers that the mirror turns into a doorway. It takes him into a completely different place, another land entirely, full of strange, beautiful things and monsters that want to get out. The problem with doors, of course, is that they open in both directions. So if you have a way of getting into another world, there are things on the other side of that door that want to get into your bedroom. So the story is about Darwin and his friends who then get together to try and protect their school from what starts to look increasingly like it might be an invasion. I hope you enjoy it.
The Fingertips of Duncan Dorfman is a great new book that I loved. Duncan and his mother have recently moved to this town, and so Duncan's new in school. When he discovers that he has supernatural powers in his fingertips to see things without looking, He gets recruited to be on the school's Scrabble team. They make it to the national tournament. His partner wants him to cheat and use his supernatural powers to read the tiles. But Duncan wants to win, but he doesn't want to cheat. Can Duncan figure out a way to still win the tournament without cheating? Well, if you want a very compelling story, a very magical story, and what would you do if you were Duncan, check out Duncan Dorfman at your fall book fair.
Students and teachers, I want to tell you about one of the most incredible books I've ever read. It's called Out of My Mind and was written by Sharon Draper. This book is about an 11-year-old fifth grader named Melody who has cerebral palsy. That's a disease that causes folks to have trouble with their muscles. Melody can't walk, she can't talk, and she can't write. So her teachers and even some of her doctors think that she'll never be able to learn anything. Melody is stuck in a class watching preschool videos all day. Actually, Melody is very, very smart. A friend of her family finds that there's a special computer that Melody can use that will allow her to program in words and sentences and be able to be heard through this talking machine. Melody now gets to go to regular classes, but the students are not quite sure if she's really that smart or if the computer is helping her trick everyone. This is an incredible book about what it's like to be someone who is going out of your mind because you can't tell other people all the things that you know. If you want to read a book you'll never forget, get Out of My Mind by Sharon Draper.
Mike Lupica is back with another great sports book. This one is called The Underdogs, and it's about a boy named Will Tyler. Will is a running back who wants to play for his local sports team. The town that he lives in, Forbes, is pretty poor, and they can't fund the team, so Will has to find funding on his own. He gets a group of friends together and is able to find funding, but can they win, and can they get through the long, difficult season? You'll have to find out in The Underdogs.
Girls, there's going to be a great new book at your book fair called 10, The Winnie Years. Winnie has turned 10, and that's double digits. That's big, big, big. She's in the 5th grade. She's the queen of the school, almost a middle schooler. But with being 10 means more responsibility. She's got to deal with her older sister and her 3-year-old brother. Yuck. And then there's friends, and there's boys, and maybe crushes, or maybe not. Do you think Winnie can handle all these new and wonderful things? Well, she loves wonderful, weird, and wacky. She likes to be in the middle of it all. If you like a great school story, wonderful adventures, weird and wacky and great, check out 10, The Winnie Years.
Boys and girls, where do you like to go on vacation? To an amusement park? To the beach? To the mountains? To visit your grandparents? Well, in Aliens on Vacation, we find out that aliens from other planets like to come to Earth. In this book, 10-year-old Scrub is not happy because his parents have sent him to stay with his grandmother at the Intergalactic Bed and Breakfast. That's just a fancy name for a small hotel. He's going to be there for the summer instead of having fun with his friends in Florida. Scrub finds out that his grandmother needs help disguising the aliens that have come from other planets to stay there at her mountain hideaway. How do you disguise a 10-foot alien with tentacles and 3 eyes? Scrub knows that the local townspeople and the sheriff and his Snoopy daughter Amy are trying to figure out what's going on at the bed and breakfast. Is Scrub going to be able to help his grandmother keep the secret of the aliens on vacation? For a very funny book, get this one at your fall book fair.
Mason Dixon's parents do what they think is best for him. Like when they named him Mason Dixon, they thought it would sound dignified. Mason thinks it sounds like a name people will make fun of. So when Mason's parents decide it's time for him to be responsible and have a pet, what happens next? Well, Mason goes through a goldfish and a hamster and a cat, but when he gets a dog, will Mason be responsible enough to take care of him? You'll have to find out in Mason Dixon Pet Disasters.
In School Days, according to Humphrey, we're back with our old friend Humphrey. It's school time, and he is so excited to be back in room 26 with all of his old friends. Unfortunately, a whole new group of kids arrived that day, and Humphrey is too nervous to even squeak up. What's he going to do, and what happened to all of his old pals? Well, Humphrey sets out to find out. He becomes unsqueakably nervous when he finds out he might get changed to another room. He would certainly miss his friend Og the Frog. Well, if you like Humphrey and all of his great adventures, you're going to love School Days with Humphrey. Check it out at your Cardinal Lane Book Fair.
Students, if you're fans of Junie B. Jones or Clementine, you're going to love Cinderella Smith. Her real name is not Cinderella. It's Josephine Catherine. But her family has started calling her Cinderella because she's always losing her shoes, just like Cinderella lost a glass slipper. Before long, everyone at school is calling her Cinderella Smith. Cinderella's got a problem. She has a fall dance recital coming up, and she's supposed to wear a pair of red, sparkly tap shoes. But she's lost one of them, and if her mother has to buy another pair, she's not going to be happy. Things get even worse when Cinderella's former best friend Rosemary begins teasing her about it, and the new girl in school, Erin, thinks that because her name is Cinderella, she must have stepsisters, and Erin wants to know all about that. For a wonderful, crazy book to read, check out Cinderella Smith.
Author Brandon Mull is back with a brand new fantasy series called Beyonders, A World Without Heroes. In the first book, Jason and Rachel are sent through a magical portal to a land called Lyrian. In this land, there's an evil wizard emperor who is oppressing everybody there. He's jailed or killed anyone who opposes him. Jason and Rachel must try and fight the emperor and find the word of power, which is the only thing that can stop him. Read The Beyonders, A World Without Heroes.
Touch Blue is an exquisite new novel by Cynthia Lord, who also wrote Rules. The state of Maine plans to close down the island school due to dwindling enrollment. The islanders have a plan to save their school by increasing enrollment by taking in foster children. Tessa's family volunteers to take in Aaron, a 13-year-old boy who has bounced from home to home. But how will Aaron do, and will their plan be successful? If you've ever been new to the classroom, or if you've ever moved to a new town or city, you can identify with Aaron. Check out Touch Blue at your fall book fair.
Boys and girls, there's a new title in the famous Who Is series. Who is J.K. Rowling? When I say that name, I know you immediately think of the Harry Potter books. You may know a lot about Harry Potter, Hermione and Ron Weasley, but how much do you know about the author of this incredible series? J.K. Rowling's real name is Joanne. She grew up in England and had a younger sister, Diana, that she told lots of incredible stories to. J.K. Rowling had some teachers she liked and some she didn't, and many of the Harry Potter Teachers at Hogwarts are based on her own teachers. For years, she scribbled great ideas down, but it took almost 7 years for her to get the first Harry Potter book down on paper. J.K. Rowling got to a point that she almost had no money. She had a young daughter to take care of, so she decided to make writing a full-time career. The publishers of Harry Potter decided to call her J.K., not Joanne or Jo as her family called her, because they thought no one would buy a fantasy book written by a woman. Hey girls, let's write some great books and show them how it's done. If you want to know more about J.K. Rowling, get this book at your fall book fair.
Do you want to know one of my favorite weeks of the year? It's Shark Week, a whole week where you can learn all about different kinds of sharks. Well, guess what? Now you can learn about sharks any time of the year with new DK Pocket Genius Sharks. Read about over 150 different kinds of sharks, where they live, what they do, and who they eat. What they eat.
Do you like things that go bump into the night? Do you like to be scared? Do you like to explore the supernatural and understand ghostly events? If so, you'll like True Ghost Stories. This is a collection of 12 stories that's been well documented about supernatural legends from the past. So at the campfire, when you want to tell ghost stories, read and own this wonderful True Ghost Stories. Check it out.
Students, if you're like me, I absolutely loved watching the Summer Olympics. Was there anything more exciting than watching the Fab Five, the U.S. women's gymnastics team, bring home the gold? Well, I've got a great new series for you if you love gymnastics as much as I do. It's called Go for the Gold Gymnast. The first book, Winning Team, focuses on one of 4 girls who want to become an elite gymnast. Her name is Britt. She's just moved from Ohio to Texas to a very, very wonderful gym. Britt isn't sure if the other girls, perfectionist Noelle, graceful Christina, or quiet Jessie, are they going to accept her as part of the team? It's hard to be part of a team when you're also competing against each other. In the second book, Balancing Act, we find out that Noelle is focused totally on gymnastics. Her mother was a Romanian gymnast, and Noelle will do anything that it takes to become an elite champion. A great new series, not only about gymnastics, but also about being friends and competitors. Check out Go for the Gold Gymnast at your fall book fair.
A great new book at your book fair will be Club CSI, The Case of the Mystery Meatloaf. In this story, it's a quirky, fun story, I might add. Friends Ben, Corey, and Hannah are taking a new forensic science class. They really like it a lot. They like it so much they decide that they are going to form a Club CSI, to investigate mysteries. Little do they realize how quickly their investigative skills are going to be called upon when there is an outbreak of food poisoning in the meatloaf served in the school cafeteria. Will their cute new science teacher get the blame, or what caused the outbreak? Can they figure it out? Well, if you like quirky, fun mysteries, you will enjoy Club CSI, The Mystery Meatloaf.